This right here is the Aputure A-Lav. It's a professional wired lavalier microphone for devices with a 1/8 inch input. So this includes the Osmo, mobile phones, DSLR cameras, and digital audio recorders. The only reason why I bought this microphone is purely on price. I mean, this mic costs $35 US or 30 pounds. I mean, that is dirt cheap. But is it any good? Well, you're listening to it right now. So the Aputure A-Lav comes in this water-resistant, shock-proof case, yeah, which is nice. Now, let's take a closer look what's inside this case. So first of all, you find the actual lavalier system itself, or the module itself. And as you can see, everything runs through this module. This A-Lav unit consists of the condenser, the battery, and the adapter all in one. So using it is really easy, and the multi-indicator light notifies you when different things are happening at any one time. So when you plug the microphone in, the light turns green, and that's the only time that the battery is actually being used, which is great because as soon as you pull out the cable, the indicator light goes off and you start saving on the battery. On the one end of this lavalier system, you have two inputs, the mic in and the mic out. The mic in, as the name implies, is where you plug in the mic. And the mic out is where you plug in one of two cables that then connects to the unit that you want to record on. On the underside of the unit, you'll find a very handy clip which you can clip onto yourself, either on your belt, on your clothing, or directly onto the camera itself. And so with the Osmo, we're going to see how we're going to fix this to the Osmo. On the other side of the unit is where you plug in the charging cable, as well as headphone jacks to monitor recording levels in real time. So that's pretty cool stuff. Charging takes just a couple of hours, during which the indicator light turns red. Once fully charged, the internal battery can be used for up to 200 hours for each charge. That's pretty impressive. Now let's take a closer look at all the accessories that come with the A-Lav microphone system. So first and foremost is the actual audio capture device itself, the microphone. It's permanently encased in this protection foam, which also acts as a windshield. This little clip on the mic itself makes it really easy to attach the mic to your t-shirt, your clothing, your lapel, your tie, whatever it is that you want to attach it on. The cable for the mic is long enough for any setup. It's about 2 meters long, so that should be more than adequate for any kind of setup that you want to hook up. What's great is it comes wrapped around this handy rubber thingamabob that makes cable management really easy. Now let's take a detailed look at some of the cables. And don't worry, all cables are well labeled, so you know exactly which cable to use for what use. The first cable is labeled for recorder, so we're just going to call this the recorder cable. And this is what we use to record on a camera such as the Osmo or a DSLR or a digital recorder. The second cable that comes with the unit is labeled for mobile, and surprise, surprise, this is the cable you would use to record on your mobile phone. That's all you need to know, really. Next, you have the charging and update cable. Update is for when you're updating the firmware, but charging, as the name implies, obviously you plug this into the unit and then you simply plug it into any micro USB cable, of which no doubt you have several lying around somewhere. Lastly, you have a much more effective windshield, or a dead cat as it's sometimes known, for those really windy conditions so that you can filter out some of that rumbling noise. And then, just as a touch of good measure, you get some tape so that you can use the microphone should you wish to hide it inside your clothing, etc. So a pretty impressive kit, all for the small price of $35 or 30 pounds. Incredible. So first, let's take a quick look at how to record on your mobile. And this is really simple. You simply plug in the mic into the mic in socket. Then you grab the 4-mobile cable that we've already seen. Let's call it the mobile cable. And then you plug that into the mic out socket. Plug the other end of the mobile cable into your mobile phone, and that's it. Press record and you start recording on your mobile using the A-Lav mic. Alright, now let's take a look at how you could use the A-Lav to record audio on the Osmo. This is the bit that I'm excited about. So you obviously need the Osmo itself, the A-Lav module. A universal mount is optional should you wish to attach other items like a light and stuff like that. You need the phone holder obviously, and then a straight arm extension completes the setup. So assemble everything, which is quite straightforward, until it looks something like this. Then, using the belt clip found on the A-Lav module, I was able to actually find it quite easy to clip it quite securely into the straight arm extension, just like this. You need to ensure that the mic in and the mic out end of the module is closest to the mic jack of the Osmo, because the recorder cable which comes with the unit is really quite short and you don't have that much of a distance. So make sure these two inputs are as near to the mic jack of the Osmo as possible. So next you grab the recorder cable and then you plug this into the mic out socket of the A-Lav, and then you plug the other end into the mic jack of the Osmo. Next, you simply plug in the mic cable, and then you attach the microphone to yourself or to your subject, wherever you want to record the audio from, and that's it, it's ready to record. Now, because you've got such a long mic cable, you may actually want to reinforce the A-Lav mount by wrapping the cable a couple of times around the attached A-Lav and straight arm extension, just like this. Just make sure everything is nice and secure and tight. So now, after this, you're ready to use it, So let's just check out the audio as I recorded it on the Osmo for the very first time. So the sound you're now hearing here, and I've got to really hurry up because I've probably got less than 5% left of the battery, but the sound that you're hearing right now for the first time is coming from the A-Lav. As you can see here from the meters, that we're getting pretty good signal to noise ratio, and this is an indication that the audio from this mic is really going to be solid. I'm sure it's going to be much better than what the onboard microphone on the Osmo gives us. So next we want to now know how good this A-Lav mic, which costs just $35, how does it compare to similar high-end lavalier mics such as the Sennheiser EW-ENG G3, which is a $600 mic, although it's a wireless system. The A-Lav is a wired system. What we did is we hooked up the A-Lav and the Sennheiser G3, which is really $35 versus $600. So we hooked up these two to a Zoom H5 digital audio recorder. So then next we mounted the microphones a very similar distance from the mouth of our 5-star reader, who's going to be reading a bit of text from a favorite book in a moment. Next, we just made sure that the input levels were as similar as possible, and then we adjusted the gain so that we're not getting any clipping of the audio. So what you're going to hear next is the raw audio. Now this audio has not been touched in post-production. In other words, there's no noise reduction, there's no EQ applied, it's just raw audio. You may want to listen to this section on either a good set of speakers or good headphones, or just be in a quiet room if you really want to hear the comparison between these two microphones. So that gives you a better representation of the sound. So ready? Here we go.
I tell you one reason it's a bad idea to make kids walk to school. These days, teachers give you so much homework that with all the books and papers you have to carry home, your backpack ends up weighing like 100 pounds. I tell you one reason it's a bad idea to make kids walk to school. These days, teachers give you so much homework that with all the books and papers you have to carry home, your backpack ends up weighing like 100 pounds. And if you want to see what kind of an effect that has on kids over time, all you need to do is look at Roderick and some of his friends. Speaking of teenagers, Dad scored a pretty big victory today. The baddest teenager in our neighborhood is this kid named Leanworth Health, and he's kind of like Dad's archery enemy. Dad has probably called the cops on Leanworth Health about 50 times. I guess Leanworth's parents got sick of his act because they sent him off to military academy. You'd think he would have made Dad pretty happy, but I don't think he was satisfied until every teenager on the planet gets sent off to juvie hall or Alakazam or something. And that includes Roderick. Yesterday, Mum and Dad gave Roderick some money to buy books so he can study for the SATs, but Roderick spent the money on a tattoo instead. I've still got a little more time until I turn into a teenager, but the minute I do, I guarantee you Dad will be looking for the first chance to ship me out. Monday. For the past week or so, Manny has been getting out of bed every night and coming downstairs. Instead of putting him right back to bed, Mum lets Manny sit with us and watch TV. It's really not fair because when Manny is with us, it's like I'm not allowed to watch any of the shows I like. All I can say is that when I was a kid, there wasn't any of this getting out of bed stuff. I did it once or twice, but Dad had to put a stop to it very quickly. There was a book Dad used to read to me every night called The Giving Tree. It was a really good book, but the back of it had a picture of the author. This guy was named Shields Stevenson.
So there you have it, folks. In conclusion, it's time we put some scores on the board. So this Aputure A-Lav microphone system, omnidirectional, how good is it? So in our experience, as you know, we rate it on 4 things. So first of all, ease of setup. So we're giving this a score of 3 out of 5, and that's simply because, you know, it's not really straightforward to, if you want to set it up for use with the Osmo, which is always our point of interest, it's always our reference point. So although you can hook it up quite easily, but it's not really meant for that use, so we kind of adapted it to be able to use it on the Osmo. That's what simple reason why we're scoring it 3 out of 5. Ease of use, very easy to use, straight 4 out of 5. There's really nothing much to do except to clip it to yourself and you start using. Maybe the bit of the cable management is the reason why we couldn't give it a 5 out of 5, in that, you know, you're only limited by a distance of 2 meters from the subject to the point of recording. The quality of the output, I mean, we listened to this after we'd done the initial recording, very impressed, to be honest, and we're scoring this an 8 out of 10. Now the last thing we look at is the cost factor. Cost factor is, you know, for the price that you pay, is it doing a good job for what you pay, like I said. And in this instance, absolutely without a doubt, it's a 5 out of 5 for the cost factor. So that gives us a total score of 20 out of 25. Pretty impressive stuff. So the Osmo Tips verdict: would we recommend the Aputure A-Lav microphone system for the Osmo? And the answer is absolutely yes. Even if it's just for the price alone, it's a no-brainer considering the quality of the audio that we're getting. So for vloggers, I know they would love this setup because the mic should be as close to you as possible for this kind of quality of audio that you're hearing right now. All of this entire video has been recorded on the A-Lav mic, which cost, as I said, $35 US. So I hope you found this video useful, and if you haven't already subscribed, I mean, it's never too late to subscribe. This way you're never going to miss out on anything that we're going to release. And in the next couple of weeks, we've got a super surprise for you guys, so keep it locked in. We're working on some really great stuff which we hope you're going to love just as much as we're loving it. We've had so many people requesting for us to do reviews on the Osmo Plus, the Osmo Mobile, the Osmo Raw, and in fact anything connected to the Osmo ecosystem. And in a couple of weeks time, we will be releasing details of exactly how we're going to fulfill those requests. So keep the comments coming, keep the questions coming in the section down below. Just let us know what you want us to review, what you want to know about your Osmo. Any questions you got, we're happy to answer them for you. So till next time, peace.